I live out of a suitcase, not because I'm lost, but because I choose to carry light. Each folded shirt, each worn journal is a fragment of home I can take wherever the road bends. A suitcase is not a burden, it's a vessel of freedom, a reminder that I don't need much to feel alive, just enough to keep moving, just enough to belong everywhere and nowhere at all. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I really want to discuss a topic that's very close to my heart, and that is about minimalism. My life falls into fabric and zippers, and inside those seams is the story of freedom, of loss, and of choice. Now, why do I live out of a suitcase? Well, there are multiple pros and cons to this. Constant travel. For me, I am always out and about. I am somebody who likes to move from location to location, see the world, and that is only possible when I have very little with me. I don't particularly like the idea of lugging big suitcases with me. I know a lot of people who go on a 2-day trip with giant suitcases packed to the brim, but for me it is only baggage, literal baggage, that holds me back from exploring places where it might be harder to get to. I'm not exactly the type of person who does city trips. I prefer to go rural somewhere, and transport and taking bags with me isn't always an easy option. My desire for freedom. I am a completely free soul. I have zero desire to settle down, buy a house, do a 9-to-5. I like the idea of having very little and just being free. Being able to pack up my bag at any given moment and just leaving. I am not trapped. I have been in relationships before where I had actually built out an entire apartment with that person, to the point that when I felt trapped and had to leave, I was so overwhelmed by how much I had to arrange to actually get out of that relationship. Not just leaving the relationship physically, but packing up my stuff and leaving. I never want to be in that situation ever again. Now, some of you might think that's very naive and that's not how life works, but that is how I want my life to be. I want that flexibility that if I'm bored of one place or a place is just not good for my soul, I can just move on. Third reason is avoiding clutter and attachment. I think us as people, we attach so much to material things. I am currently going through this myself as I am decluttering some of my childhood items that were stored in the attic in my mum's house. And when I look at them, I really want to cry because I have attached so much emotion and nostalgia to these items. And I want to be free from that material attachment. So I have this rule, for example, that when I purchase something new, especially when it's clothes, I have to donate something else. And usually that is something that I haven't worn for a very long time, or I haven't looked at, or I haven't used for a very long time. And not just donate, sometimes I sell as well, so I make some of my money back. It is just the one in, one out rule that keeps my life very simple and stops me from building up clutter wherever I go. And I still catch myself building up clutter. When I moved away from Australia, I had 2 suitcases, but I still had to get rid of a lot of things. But I do this regularly. Minimalism isn't always about sticking with the same 5 items for the rest of your life. You're allowed to switch it up, but you just have to be able to let go of those things and allow other things into your life. I feel at home everywhere I go. I can go to a friend's house, I can go to a hotel, I can move into a new apartment. I can live in a car and have everything I own and need and feel at home. With minimalism, I'm trying to value experiences over possessions. I want to get out and see things with my own eyes and experience things without feeling the need to buy the latest flat screen TV or computer or phone or anything. And I have a feeling that certain countries have this sort of lifestyle. When I was in Belgium, I noticed that a lot of people lived that way, where they needed the latest, flashiest things, and they lived the rest of their life in debt, in financial debt, to afford those things, which keeps them also very trapped in life, because unless you're a homebody and all you want to do and sit inside and watch TV, I guess that's fine, but surely there's more to life. I save a lot of money not buying things. I'm a very impulsive person, and in the past I have struggled with a lot of impulsiveness. If I saw something at the shops, I had to buy it. It would be on my mind until I bought it, and I still catch myself with that same issue sometimes. But I am a lot stronger now at just walking away or ignoring the thoughts and moving on with my life until I forget about it. In the past, I would let impulsiveness take over and purchase something new. The next shiny thing that I saw had to be in my possession. And I feel very liberated from that way of living now, because I can save a lot more money that I can use for things far more valuable to me. And just know that novelty always wears off, right? When you buy that next shiny thing, for me, it literally takes an hour before I lose interest in that very thing that I just purchased. A bad habit I used to have was purchasing items, and then after an hour, I kid you not, be bored and keep the receipt and return it to the shops. And that dopamine hit still worked. I had the item, but the novelty wore off, so I don't need it anymore. And then I felt this rush like, oh, I'm getting my money back. I don't feel so bad anymore for spending it. A few cons of being a minimalist, I would say, is probably having a lack of home base. But to me personally, that doesn't really bother me. I can make myself feel at home anywhere I like. I do get a lot of comments from friends and family asking, when are you going to settle down? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? When are you going to get a career? And personally, that's just not how I'm programmed. Not what I aspire to in life, and I'm okay with that. I'm currently in the Highlands of Scotland with my mum temporarily doing tree maintenance jobs and admin jobs. But I know it's temporary. I'm just getting some money and then I'm out of here, because all I have to take with me is literally a suitcase. Another minimal con would perhaps be a limited wardrobe. I get bored of my outfits. You cease to attach importance to things like that eventually. I don't need to have 50 different outfits to feel happy. For me, clothes need to be practical, especially up here. They need to keep me warm. They don't necessarily need to be pretty. But I do have the very odd, dress that I'll borrow or that I will buy to go out, and then usually I will sell it again on my Depop. But clothes just aren't important to me and never have been. I never used to dress very well as a kid, and my parents used to get so angry with me because I just wear a hoodie and some jeans, and I was happy. I was comfortable. I was happy. I didn't care. All it needs to do is cover my skin and protect me from the elements, right? I don't need to look fashionable. To be fair, I am currently wearing a Pirates of the Caribbean themed hoodie that I got from Etsy, some really creative person who makes custom embroidered hoodies. Yes, I am very much still carrying my obsession of Captain Jack Sparrow with me through life since I was a child. So here we go. That is my sense of fashion today. Living out of a suitcase can get exhausting when you have to pack and repack and unpack continuously because you're moving so much. I did experience that while I was traveling around Southeast Asia, but sometimes it's important to take a longer amount of time to settle down somewhere and give your mind the time and space to reset. Everyone's different in this. For me, that's all I need, is just somewhere longer than a week to stay, and I am perfectly happy. The overall consensus, I wouldn't change my lifestyle for $1 million. I love it. I feel free. I can spread my wings and see where life and the universe takes me. I think I would rather look back at my life now and be very grateful for the experiences that I've had while I was young, as opposed to waiting until I'm much older and not so fit and active and brave, I guess, to do certain things. It took me a very long time to understand, after having worked 9-to-5s and moving from place to place, that this is what my soul craves. It craves freedom, it craves change, it craves experiences and variation in life. That's my personal experience with being a minimalist and living out of a suitcase. And I would love to hear your stories. Surely there are other people like myself out there. Please comment down below if you have similar experiences or whether this is something you would like to attempt in life. I do have to say it is very liberating, and I think everyone should try it to a degree. You don't have to do it for years, but I'm very curious to hear what people have to say. So leave a comment down below, and if you enjoyed this video or found it remotely interesting, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video.